Girl, you told me that you were celibate. No. I told you that I was selling it. This is a discussion that I am ready to have. I am excited to have. Tune in while we discuss in the woman cave. How in the heck, breathe. How in the heck are you a new mother, but you was celibate? You married now? Tune in, girl. Welcome to the Woman Cave. We're about to have this discussion. I am so excited to just talk about my experience of being a new mom, but also being celibate. Yeah, let's have this discussion. Welcome to the Woman Cave. I think I lie for you. I think I die for you. Jonesy Morgan, and I would like to welcome you to the Woman Cave. The Woman Cave is a space that I created that allows women to just be themselves. Like my girls over and we just talk. We talk about real issues. What are some things that may be taboo? We're talking like common settings. Girl, why is this going on? Why am I going through this? Have you ever dealt with this? And so forth. And so this is the Woman Cave, a space boys not really allowed. This is a space I created and I'm just so excited about it. Today we're going to be talking about, girl, how in the heck are you celibate and you a new mom? How in the heck? And so, of course, this took some time to think about, gather different points, and just be in a space where I'm able to talk about my experience. And so, I just pray that God allows me to share my story, and that you receive it in a way that can positively impact your journey or a journey that you are striving to have, and so forth. And so let's get to it. Ooh, girl. Um, Being celibate was the best journey of my life. It was the best decision I've ever made to become celibate. Being celibate allowed me to have clarity on a lot of things. It allowed my relationship with God to strengthen. It allowed me to see past a lot of bullcrap as it relates to meeting guys. And I became, when I became celibate, it was, wow, this is something new. So, of course, I don't want to be before you too long, but let's just get right into it. 2017, I became celibate. And it was one night just trying to get over one of my ex-boyfriends and just go to Walmart, pick up a celibacy ring, and go from there. I took it day by day. I asked God to just lead me and guide me and have me in a space where I can just, get over some old habits, get over some toxic habits that was no longer serving the woman that was 27 at the time. And so, yeah, it was a journey that opened up so many opportunities, and I don't have nothing bad to say about being celibate. It was a journey that it allowed me to speak to women, a lot of women around the world about, just being in this space where, dang, I thought it was over for me. I thought I would always be this girl that got into toxic relationships and got into relationships that was not conducive to where God had me, where God had me at that point in time. And so, yeah, 2017, it all started. Fast forward, um, I started writing books. I wrote my second book, Divorce and Soul Ties, where I talked about my celibacy journey and choosing something in my life that I needed to refrain from to be catapulted to another level, promoted to another level. And when I shared that story, I never realized how many lives it would impact. I think on my journey over time, I became frustrated. I became in this space where I felt like I had to be perfect. I felt like, if I was celibate, I was exempt from going through things. Like, okay, God, this was something that I did for me, but it's also for you as well. Like in your word, I don't want to be in a relationship that I am having sex and I'm not married. So okay, this was something that I follow. I feel like you should honor that and let me not go through things. And so I think that on my celibacy journey, I became, you know, frustrated. I became depressed in a lot of ways and a lot of times because it was this notion of why do I have to go through things still and I'm celibate? It was also a place where I felt like, it was also a journey where I felt like, you know, I would tell my friends, listen, if you become celibate, you'll be straight. And I thought, you know, because I was celibate, I would be okay. Because I was in this place where I was refraining from something that controlled me for a very long time, the sense of just having sex just to have sex, or having sex and getting up and feeling empty. Now that I'm not doing that, I would be straight. I should be okay. Girl, no. And so one thing I learned was that just because I wasn't doing it, having sex, it didn't exempt me from experiencing life. And so, though celibacy was a beautiful journey, it came to a point where I feel like celibacy was my God, and that is with a little g. Celibacy became a journey where it had me feeling myself. It had me in a space where I praise that more than I praise God. You know, I attach God to it, of course, in a lot of ways, but over time, I was praised for not having sex. I finally got to a place where the people that doubted me in the past, they start clapping for me. The people that didn't believe in me when I was younger, they start, you know, telling me they were proud of me. And because I think my journey of being celibacy, was of being celibate, excuse me, became my identity. I forgot, or I lost track of who I was in Christ. And so I got to a space where the walls came tumbling down. And it's so crazy how I'm able to talk about it now, but you know, when you allow a journey or you allow something to be your identity, God will show you that you ain't that strong after all. And so now looking back, I thank God for the journey, but it taught me so much. It taught me me. And so it's crazy because I'm not reading off my little cute card at all, but yeah, it taught me that first off, don't put no other person, don't put no other journey, don't put no other job, don't put no other title before God. Because He the only one that can save you. He the only one that can rescue you. He the only one that sent His Son and died on the cross for my imperfections. But when you place something, when you place a title above Him, He'll show you that title can't sustain you. Because little perfect Patty me, I'm human just like anybody else. But I didn't believe that. I didn't know that. Like, I felt like celibacy made me perfect. Celibacy, I'm considered pure. But it came a time where when you gonna start being celibate for real, I'm talking about in your thoughts. I'm talking about in your ways. I'm talking about how you celibate, but you're still a nasty person. I'm talking about how you celibate, but you still gossip all day. And so after like 3.5 years, I mastered refraining from sex. I mastered refraining from sex, but my heart posture was off. My thoughts were completely off. My ways were off. And so God placed me, or seasons came in my life, I would say, where it challenged what I was lacking. It challenged the sense of, dog, your attitude is horrible. Look how you talk to this person. Look how you try this person. And so I remember one time my therapist was like, Shinobi, when are you going to be celibate for real? Like bump sex. When are you going to be celibate for real? And so I went through this unique journey, this unique season where it was like, what? Now, now that I'm so moving past that, when I stopped being celibate, I almost lost myself. I almost lost myself because it was like this was my identity. People were proud of me. People praised me. I enjoyed the emails and the text messages and the DMs. Oh my gosh, I wish I could be like that, or I wish, or and it was like when that became my identity, when that became my get up and go, when that became I don't have to think about my past no more because I'm perceived as perfect now. Girl, the walls started tumbling. And so when I stopped being celibate, it was like, I don't know who I am no more. Ugh. I don't know who I am anymore because now I gotta face issues that I hid because of a journey that became my everything. I didn't want to deal with those things. I didn't want to deal with the little girl inside that was still suffering from so much trauma. And when I say trauma, people always think it's the girl that got molested when she was younger, or it's the girl that. But no, no, a lot of blinded perceptions or a lot of blinded perspectives that I carried on for so long, and so it was a lot of trauma that or events that I needed to address, but I couldn't address it or I didn't address it because I felt like now that I've created this sense of identity, I don't have to address it. Like, long as I can sit on the or stand on the stage and talk in front of thousands of people, I don't got to talk about really my past. And I can talk about my past, but now I can talk about it in the sense of I'm better now, I'm perfect now. And so, yeah, when I went through a season of losing my identity or losing something that I allowed to be my identity. And it's so weird, but it brought me closer to God. Because when the walls started tumbling down, it was within that moment that I was able to say, you know what? God, it ain't about me. It's not about me being perceived as perfect. It's not about me being praised. It's about God. And so, because I didn't understand that, because I understood it, but the being praised made me feel better. And so on my celibacy journey, I kind of got distracted. Not because of my spouse now, but because of you thought that you was perfect. And life had to humble you. And so, yeah. Now being a new mom, it's like, dang, now I gotta go back and apologize, and I gotta go back and I go through this space of being embarrassed because how did I fall, or how did I fail, or how did I not let God down? How did I let people down? Because I was so driven by the importance of pleasing people, but not allowing life to happen. And so, yeah, just going through those different phases of going through those different seasons of God, allow my identity to rest in you. Help me to understand that I no longer have to be perfect. Help me to understand that my story has value, but it's not when I show up as this perfected person or this person that everybody can think is pure like Jesus, because I ain't Jesus. I am. Girl, I'm sorry, I ain't him. Mm-mm. I have flaws. I still have flaws. Um, and I think that when you understand that your journey is not a sprint, it is a marathon. It's a marathon. And doing a marathon, I did a marathon, half a marathon, a couple of years ago. And what I understood about it was that a marathon is not something that just happened. Like a sprint, you just want to take a march, set, go. And it's within 15, 14, 13, however fast. Girl, I'm 32 now, so it might be like a 14 second. But um, it's within those seconds that you're done. Versus a half marathon, you talking about 2 hours later, time. In the half marathon, it's you going through phases where, okay, I need to go into this. It's a process. And over time, you have prepared your body for this marathon. And so that's the thing. I think that, like, when I'm thinking about the half marathon that I ran, I'm thinking about life. It's not something that's just you wake up and things perfect. Like when life happens, girl, you walk around with your hair stuck all over your head. It's just the realness has happened. The realness is here. And so I'm telling you, like, I don't regret the journey. I just understand that I'm so much bigger and better now. I'm in a space where I could be vulnerable or I could be authentic, and I don't have to hide it to be perceived as perfect. And so that's why I say, like, it started to separate from celibacy to self-praise. And when it got to self-praise, humbled. And so, yeah, I was celibate and it was beautiful. And, I don't have to be embarrassed anymore. I don't have to be ashamed. I don't have to be, oh my God. No. I am Shinobi Morgan. And I'm a beautiful human being. I'm not perfect. And I'm happy I'm not perfect. Girl, it's hard being perfect. Because you're trying to please everybody. But it's like, no. It's more to the story. And so, some tips and some things that I learned while transitioning from being celibate to not being celibate to not being a mom was that you're not all that after all. You are in the bag of chips, girl. But as it relates to being perfect, anybody can fall. And when you get to a space or you get to a place where you are feeling yourself so much and forgetting that it's about God, you realize that you're not all that after all. You ain't all that, no. You got a better shape, you can be pretty, you can have longest, curliest hair, you can, girl, all of this, but you're not all that after all. Somebody told me that once, like, oh, you walking around shame? You know what you have to realize? That, girl, you ain't all that after all. You alright, but you ain't all that. The next thing I learned is that it's about God, not about you. And it's so cliche to say this, but God cannot bless the person that you pretend to be. I mean, He can. You'll get blessed in certain things, but He's looking for you, the authentic you. We take all the hats off, take all the layers of clothes off, you. And so it ain't about you being praised. It's about God. But when you realize that it's not about you being praised, you got to go to God as your authentic self. Listen, God, here I am. That's why a lot of people say, like, how was pregnancy? And I'm like, it was the most beautiful thing, but it was the hardest season of my life. Because I'm still trying to carry this idea of perfection. And now I'm walking around with a big old belly. But it was a journey. It was a season that strengthened me on another level. And so Perfection is a myth. That's the next thing. You are not perfect. You're not perfect. And you will never be. Because life is a journey. And so while I thought that celibacy, if I became celibate, my life would be perfect, I would never go through things, God had to take that away from me. Because he's seen that I allowed it to become my God. And so, perfection, that ain't it. Each season of your life is going to make you better as a person. You just have to allow it to. But the seasons of your life is a journey. It's not an overnight process. It's going to be always, it's going to be always something that you're working on. You never get to a place where you arrive. Always something. For example, when I first had my baby, it was, okay, God, I gotta wake up every 2 hours. God, I gotta do this. God, I gotta do this. It's not that no more, but it's something else. So, yeah. Perfection is a myth. It's not real. The next thing is, I talked about this already, celibacy being my God. God will remove whatever you have in your life that you place in before him. He'll remove it. And when he remove it, he'll allow you to know that it was him that was there the whole time. Him and him alone. And so, yeah, I wanted to make this video today to just, like I said, invite you into my woman cave and just talk about, oh man, this was the hardest journey of my life. Like, people like, what the heck? How the heck? What you did this and why you did this? I lost so many friends. Like, it was, the certain decisions that I made, I lost a lot of friends, but people didn't know what I was going through. People didn't know that, it stopped being about God. People didn't know that I was tired of being celibate. People didn't know even though the thing is, even though I was tired of being celibate, I enjoyed what it gave me. So people didn't understand that. And so a lot of times people judged, but it was like, dang, now I gotta hold this title of being perfect. Because number one, I'm a people pleaser. And so God brought so many walls down that I felt like I built over time to protect me. When all in all, God is gonna bless the girl with your walls. I'm talking about when they come tumbling down. And so I love you. I thank you for tuning in today. This is the Woman Cave. And yeah, we got down and dirty today. Where we talk about this idea of perfection. Perfection is not real. And I was celibate. I wasn't selling it. And I'm not married. I seen that post one day like, how you celibate, girl? And you pregnant? You married? No. I am not married. I am Shinobi. And I am in the most authentic space in my life. I am building my identity in Christ, and it's not perfect, but it is better, and it is becoming better. Thank you for tuning in today. I love you, and have a beautiful day. Love you, girl.